We're going to dive in a little bit here, and we're going to start with a workplace dysfunction definition. So like I said, when I went through the process of trying to find one, I couldn't find one. So I said, all right, well, the world needs one, so why don't we come up with it? So here, it's a two-parter, just like any good definition. So the first part is any pattern or behavior that is limiting members of the organization from achieving what they could or should under normal conditions. Any pattern or behavior that's limiting what we could or should achieve under normal conditions. Okay, so what this could be is it could be the way we do stuff. Maybe we've got some old ways of doing things we need to change. It could be things as more specific and concrete as meetings. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about meetings today, but meetings are an easy source of dysfunction. I was talking to a client of mine, and she works for a large university, and she told me, she's in the finance area, she said, on average, I spend 40 hours a week in meetings. In meetings for 40 hours. So when does she do her work? Before the meetings, after the meetings, right? In the business school, what we always teach is, whenever you give students, MBA students work, you always say for every 1 hour in the classroom, they should be spending 2 hours preparing or doing work for every 1 hour in the classroom. I think that's a good simple ratio as you think about meetings. For every 1 hour of meetings, make sure people have at least 2 hours to get work done, either before or after. So when that ratio tips, that's the way to think about it. But our first one here is any pattern or behavior that's limiting. Meetings is a good example of that. Second one here is any pattern or behavior that is limiting the quality of the mental or emotional health of the workplace environment. All right, so the first one is we got systems or structures that are blocking us from realizing what we could or should be doing. The second one is we got some kind of funky energy going on here that's not particularly awesome. It could be a person, it could be some kind of stress around something, emotion. I did a TED Talk back in February. It hasn't come up online yet, but I did it on the contagiousness of emotions in the workplace. Would you all agree that emotions are contagious in the workplace? Yeah, heck yeah, they are. In fact, over the last 20 years, there's been a growing body of research on that very topic. And what they found is a couple interesting things. First, negative emotions are the most contagious. Second, it's almost like a factor of 2 or 3 if it's the boss that has negative emotions, because it just kind of bleeds into the culture, okay? And third, the contagiousness of emotions is not like a yawn, it's more like a virus. So when you catch it, you keep it, and then you give it to others. Now, positive emotions can be equally contagious, not quite as contagious as negative, but they can be very powerful. So we want to make sure we're monitoring and measuring the emotional energy of the organization. And that particularly matters a lot if it's a smaller business. And we probably all have experienced at points in our career where you were working with that one person and he or she just kind of brought negative energy, but no one really wanted to let her go or let him go because they just seemed too valuable. But the moment they left the business, there was just this deep sigh of relief. Have you all ever experienced that before? Yeah, right? And that's hard to measure, but we can feel it. So workplace dysfunction can come in that form too. It can come in that form too.